The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation or Stewart Title. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Napick. So glad you joined us for the show. Another radio adventure awaits. We have some tremendous guests right here. So whether you're listening in Houston, Texas, St. Bart's, Dana Point, California, the Woodlands, Texas, it doesn't matter. We've assembled the show with great guests, so you will enjoy it wherever you are listening. And, of course, we're always brought to you by Stewart Insurance and Risk Management and their president, Tom Carpentier. A great reminder to think if you don't have flood insurance, a good time to give them a call. Go to the website, Stewart.com, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Now we have the opportunity to talk to our chief economist at Stewart Title, the one and only and eighth real estate wonder of the world, Dr. Ted C. Jones. Welcome to the show.
Well, it's an honor to be back to the show. I always enjoy working with you on this.
And here we are. We're doing it remotely. We're here at a symposium. You just gave your presentation. But here in Houston, Texas, let's tell people right now we're in the summer, the heat of the summer. How is the real estate market right now, generally speaking?
So what we're going to do is we're going to back up. And my premise is, my axiom is that jobs are everything. If I can tell you where jobs are going, I can tell you about general real estate trends. Then we have to look at supply and demand. In the latest 12 months, Houston added 86,300 net new jobs. That's a job growth rate of 2.86%. That's phenomenal. The U.S. is doing a great job right now at 1.61% growth. So we're not quite double, but we're getting pretty close to that. Just jobs are everything. And because of that, we're actually looking at a really good, we're on an all-time record sales pace on how existing home sales in all of history today. In the latest 12 months, for example, single-family homes, and I'm only going to talk about 4 of the counties in the metropolitan statistical area, but it's the counties that most of the people live in: Fort Bend, Galveston, Harris, and Montgomery counties. In the first 5 months of this year compared to 5 months last year, our single-family home sales are up 2.9%. Below $500,000, they're only up 2.4%. Part of that is because there's nothing left to sell. Houston has become a millennial destination point, and millennials, they're first-time home buyers. Literally only 13.6% of the U.S. population is between the ages of 25 and 34, but in the last 12 months nationwide, they bought 36% of all the homes. So we've always heard that millennials aren't going to be home buyers. That's not true. So below 500,000, 2.4% increase in sales. If you go from $500,000 to just below 800,000, the sales increase was 13.8% this year compared to last year. If you go from 800,000 to just a penny below $1 million, those sales are up 9.3%.
Unbelievable.
And $1 million plus sales, they're down 5.3%. That was through May. But if we just do year to date, instead of having 558 sales, and we're not even out of June yet, it's $702 million plus sales on single family. Townhouse condo sales overall are down 4.1%. High-rise, mid-rise is down 9.2%. Overall, our home sales in the first 5 months this year in the 4th largest city in the country, up 2.2%. And it's all about jobs. Jobs drive that. So we're seeing a very good economy on that side. Now, that said, I want to tell you, depending on what you're buying, depends on your negotiating position. We always look at months inventory. It's kind of like, how many cars do I have in my lot to sell until I need to buy some new cars to sell on the lot? We always think that you need, normal is about 6 months inventory. Below $500,000 in single family, we have 3.2 months. It is a seller's market below $500,000 in single family. If you look at $500,000 to 800,000, it's 8.3 months. You don't have that negotiating power. 800,000 to $1 million, 9.4 months. And if you get them above $1 million, we have a year of inventory. And that's why in the higher price markets in Houston, Texas today, we're seeing that it is a buyer's market. The buyers can come in and make an offer, and the seller has to respond to it. Just opposite of what we're seeing in the lower price markets.
And as you say it all the time. You said it right here at this presentation. Jobs are everything. When we think about jobs do so many things, but have you heard, or what are the statistics now of people moving to Texas? I heard one figure a while ago. I don't know if it's accurate. They say 700 and some people move per day to Texas, not necessarily Houston. Don't know if that's accurate, but what's the feel for those that are coming to Texas and to Houston?
Well, what we do know is I think your numbers are pretty close. And of course, there's multiple sources, and there's no one source that says here's where they move to and from. It's all based on surveys and people like U-Haul and moving companies and things like that. But what we do know is that these people are going where there are jobs. Now, at the very end of last year, we had the Tax Cut and Jobs Creation Act of 2017. We know, for example, in Texas, it really didn't impact us much. It just really doesn't have much impact on us. First of all, we don't have a state or local income tax. We do have property tax issues because we have abnormally high property taxes, but overall, it didn't impact Texas much. Let's go to California. One of the estimates is up to 45% of all the homes in California are worth more than $1 million. I'm not saying they're $1 million home by Texas standards. I'm saying that 1,800 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath is selling for over $1 million. What we learned is, under these new tax laws, those people are going to lose some of their deductions. They can no longer deduct mortgage interest on more than $750,000 loan. They're going to be able to lose the ability to deduct all their property taxes and retail sales taxes. As a result, one of the surveys on California is right after the tax law changes. 12.5% of them said 8.5 to 12.5% said they plan to move out of the state in the next 12 months. 8.5% were going to move out of the state in the next 12 months. So we're going to see that exodus out of states such as California and Connecticut and New York and New Jersey and Massachusetts and maybe even Pennsylvania. On the other hand, we're going to see more people move to Texas. No state income tax, no corporate tax, no state personal income tax, very affordable cost way of doing it, and a great way of life.
Now, I don't know if you read, I love the Wall Street Journal Friday edition, especially the real estate section that's called Mansion. I know a lot of people follow that, and I love to read Robbie Briggs, his ad that he's had for years and years. He's recently changed the format of it. But what he was referring to just in the last week or so, he was talking about, I forget the phrase, about a boom, and he was bragging and telling people, ringing the bell about the Dallas economy, how it is just killing it, apparently, based on this particular presentation in the Journal just the other week. What's going on in Dallas?
Dallas, it's all about jobs. And look what we've had. And I'm going to go back 20-some years ago. First major mover that came into the Dallas market, JCPenney's left the Midwest, Chicago, what have you, those areas. And they put their headquarters in Plano, Texas. Latest one we have coming in today right now is Toyota North America. They're going to put their head managerial management center in Plano, Texas. I think one of the estimates I read is they're going to move 15,000 employees. Most of these people make well over $100,000. That's just the Toyota plant. Some of the macroeconomists say that you could get up to 5 new jobs for each of those jobs. So those 15,000 jobs becomes 75,000 jobs. And those 75,000 jobs have another multiplier effect. They become 150,000 jobs. It's all about jobs. And what we have here is a very good place to do business. Yeah, I will tell you this. Texas is the reason that God invented swimming pools. Just wait till June, July, and August. On the other hand, we don't have to worry about breaking the ice off the lake just to get water, so to speak.
No doubt about it. Dialing it back to Houston, Texas, before we conclude the segment. Ted, here we are, the middle of the year. How do you see things ending up if you're going to speculate? How are we going to be sitting come November-ish this time of year?
So I think Houston, Texas is going to be in great shape. And we're going to say this. We're going to assume we don't have another hurricane. And by the way, the hurricanes hurt in the short run, but in the long run, you boom. That's one of the reasons we're seeing some of the most strong job growth we've ever seen in Houston is what happened last August from Hurricane Harvey. Whatever you do, don't go out and pray for another hurricane for a strong economy because it's unfair to a lot of people. On the other hand, you lose money immediately after, or you lose jobs immediately after hurricane. Housing sales and commercial sales go down. Got to reinspect every property before transfer. And then all of a sudden, you get all this federal money, billions of dollars that comes in. And all the people have to buy their stuff, and all the insurance money comes in, and you boom. And we're still living part of that boom phase right now. So if we're going another hurricane, I'm seeing a great dynamic year for Houston, Texas. For the U.S., we're still dealing with very robust job growth. And we're looking at it. What a great place to live and time to be in Houston, Texas today.
And it's very exciting. Ted, what else would you like people to know?
I would want to point out, one of the studies they just completed, what makes Houston tick? And we all think about oil and gas. If you look at total employment, and this is as of May 2018, oil and gas jobs just make up 1.2% of our total workforce as far as actual in oil and gas. But that spills over to everything. Manufacturing is 7.3%. But let's talk about the biggies. Trade, transportation, utilities, a little over 20%, 20.2%. 1 out of 5 jobs are trade, transportation, utilities. Now, let's look at what that means. We have 2 international airports. That's transportation and trade. We have the second largest port in North America, the Houston Port Authority. We have multiple rails and multiple interstate highways coming in and out of here. And as a result, that's 1 out of 5 jobs. Now let's talk about the next one. You look at the employment category. It's called professional and business service. 16.4%. It's 1 out of every 6 jobs. Y'all ever heard of the Texas Medical Center? The largest medical facility in the world. Just between trade, transportation, and utilities and professional and business services, I counted for more than 1 out of every 3 jobs in Houston, Texas. And that's just the start. Government, nice thing about government, we actually have a lower percentage of workers in government than the nation does as a whole. I like that because the more people you have in the government workforce, the higher your taxes have to be because you got to pay for them. Information technology, I'm surprised it's still positive. It's literally 1% of our job force. We've shipped almost all those jobs overseas, Pakistan, India, the Philippines. That's kind of tragic. Manufacturing's 7.3%. Construction 7.4%. So we're hitting on all cylinders right now in Houston, Texas. Granted, we've lost 35% from 5 years ago. We've lost 35% of all the oil and gas jobs, but that sector is doing well right now. We're looking at $60 plus oil for this next 12 months. That's our general outlook. Things are well in Houston, Texas.
Unbelievable. And, of course, Ted, people can follow you on Twitter. Give them the coordinates, please.
It's hashtag DRTCJ, Dr. Ted C. Jones. You can also Google me, and you can look up my blog. Just Google Jones on Real Estate. It'll take you, or you can go to the Stewart.com website. It'll take you there, too.
So many great resources. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Ted C. Jones. Thank you, Ted.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. And now we get to talk with Courtney Robertson. She is with Greenwood King. Courtney, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks so much. This is awesome. My first on-air interview.
Is that right?
It sure is.
And you're ready for action. So glad that you joined us today. Let's tell people a little bit about, Courtney, about your company and perhaps some of the company distinctions.
Okay, great. Well, Greenwood King has 3 offices. I'm in the Voss location, and I've been doing real estate for about 15 years. And I sell predominantly in areas kind of 22 and 23, which is Tanglewood, Briar Grove, Memorial, some in River Oaks, just some great spots.
In fact, and as your office is right there at Voss in that area, that also, we think of city centers and dynamic areas of the city right there. That is a tremendous spot to be based in.
Absolutely. And there's also so many more restaurants and things going on in that area. Bunker Hill now has a lot. And
you're making me hungry, Courtney.
Yes, I know.
You're making everybody hungry.
City Center, all sorts of great things are popping up.
Indeed. And as you've mentioned some of those parts and market areas of Houston, give us an idea of the market feeling right now and the dynamic activity, or how's it going right now?
It's a seller's market. Well, that's only for a small subset of sellers. And right now, I would say that over $2.5 million in Memorial is sitting. It's pretty slow. I've been in 2 bidding wars in the past 2 weeks. One of them was just a few days ago on houses under about 2.5. And I think buyers are surprised to be in the bidding war situation again. And so there's a little skepticism that there's even really other offers in the mix. So But when you call to tell them they didn't get it.
Well, that's a difficult, perhaps, phone call. However, when I think of the idea of the bidding war, to me, on a home that has that kind of activity, it would seem, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the home looked great, it was in a great location, and it was priced correctly.
Exactly. I think overpricing a house is the biggest flaw that sellers can make. They think they're going to get more money by pricing it higher, and the way you're going to get the most money is if you have two interested parties. And the longer it's on the market and the more it's been price reduced and just becomes shop worn and yesterday's news, and you're no longer going to get as close to your asking price.
The other thing I'm thinking about is that it must be exciting when that kind of interest is in a property that is your listing. That brings another element to I guess it gets things very exciting.
It sure does. It sure does.
For all parties.
Yes, there's always pressure. I sell a lot in Briar Grove, and I feel like every multiple offer situation, someone's about to have a baby in a day or, getting married. And so I know that I'm giving one person good news, but not everyone. So that's sometimes tough.
And as the real estate professional, how do you stay steady and how do you keep people calm and doing the right things during this process?
Well, I usually, when there's multiple offers, I just put everything on a spreadsheet so that it's very fair and
that's a good
just
idea.
Put everything, here's everyone's earnest money down to just any special provisions they might have, just so we can look at apples to apples and
black and white.
Yes, so that it's not me giving them any favoritism towards any particular buyer.
In fact, that's interesting. You're giving the idea of keeping. Now, it's hard to keep emotions out of a real estate transaction when it's our home and thinking about the next home and all those things. However, keeping the emotions out of it is probably a good idea to be able to determine.
People always say that when you put your house on the market, you need to now pretend like it's no longer your personal residence and it's now a business transaction. And it's a lot easier to say than to do. No. But it's really true. And I think that's where so many people, when they do for sale by owner or there's not an agent involved, that's when they get in trouble because they're only running on emotion, and I can take some emotion out of it and look at the bigger picture.
Interesting. Now, when you say the word for sale by owner, I can't help but think of the homes that I ride my bicycle or walk by or drive by, and you see the for sale by owner and the phone number's written where you could barely read it and it's so primitive. You're thinking, boy, they're in for a long haul.
Well, they are. And a lot of times for sale by owner, the seller is actually at the house during the showing, and that's never good. The buyer's never going to feel comfortable or ask the agent questions they might want to or feel like they can open the closets or whatever it is because the seller is hovering over, and, it just doesn't make for a good
work with the seller and even a buyer of that type of home.
So when I'm getting a listing, I try to think of what the bottleneck is going to be for that house, whether it's the bedrooms don't all have ensuite baths, or because these buyers, if you're buying a $2 million plus home, it's not going to be the first house you've bought. So you're taking whatever you didn't like about your other houses, like I couldn't fit both cars in the garage at the same time. And every day when I left for work, we had to move around cars. So it's interesting. The larger the house gets, the nicer people's cars are and the more they have. So most likely people actually even get in their cars and see if they can get into the driveway and the garage and everything, because they want to make sure that just because it's a 3-car garage doesn't mean you can park in all 3 spaces.
Details become even more amplified and more important.
Yes.
Very interesting. And I like the idea, as you're saying, you're right. We buy, I don't know how many homes in a given lifetime, but when you're talking about that price range, that is right. It's a different eye that looks at those homes. But I like what you said. We hear all the time about managing expectations. However, you are going that extra mile and thinking about, okay, what could, and they're not always the challenges, but what could those potential challenges be? That's great that you're doing that.
You don't always want to point out the challenge to anyone, but once they say, oh gosh, I really wish that, there was a bedroom downstairs, then I say, well, you could make this study. There's an adjacent closet and you could sheetrock it from the entry hall and enter from the hallway, and just things like that. You need to always be thinking ahead on what a buyer could possibly want.
Courtney, you love real estate. Of all the things you could be doing, why was it real estate that you chose this profession?
Well, my mom was in real estate for a little while, and I opened a gift store right out of college, Courtney's Collections, and did that for a while. So I've never worked for anyone else, and I think that's the way it's going to be. So, I'm driven. I think I'm more driven because I can control my future, and it's a 24-hour-a-day job. And I guess one thing that cracks me up is when people say, oh, you're in real estate, that's so great, you get to make your own schedule. Well,
like it's easy, right?
I guess if you're not busy, you can make your own schedule. But my schedule is I jump whenever something needs to be done.
Okay, and here's a question I'm going to hope to remember to ask everybody on this show. And you bring up the idea of the work-life balance. How do you do it, or how do you attempt to do it?
I'm not going to say it's easy. I've got 2 kids, 11-year-old girl, 9-year-old boy. They're both at camp right now, so it's been a little easier to work this past week. They're at such a fun age, and I won't let myself miss anything important, although I think they're sick of me being on the phone and always on the computer.
Mom, you're on the phone again?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Courtney, let's tell people once again how they can reach out to you, Courtney Robertson.
Yes, my email address is Courtney@greenwoodking.com, and my number is 713-557-5943.
And I like the idea of the Courtney collections or Courtney's collection. That has a good ring to it, too, huh?
Thanks. It was fun.
Courtney Robertson, 713-557-5943. Give her a call. Thank you, Courtney, for being on the show.
Oh, thanks a bunch.
And we're going to come right back with even more on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Nampick. Stay with us.
Stewart Title has been serving Texas for over 120 years. A Texas treasure, Stewart Title's longevity is a testimony to superior service, innovation, and knowing what their customers want. Recent surveys show that 92% of respondents want secure online tracking tools to help them during the closing process. Stewart Title offers the most robust and secure system to track transactions online available today. To learn more, contact Stewart Title at one of their many offices around the city. Stewart Title, online at stewart.com. That's STEWART.com.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Our next guest is Jay Carter Breed. Carter, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Bill. Good to be here again.
You have been a legend in that area. When I say that area, I know you reach out, but the Memorial City Center, Town and Country, whatever you want to call it, you're all over the place.
Thank you. We're pretty busy. It's been a good year. It's always good to see you there. We try to get there as often as we can.
And I said it before on a show a long time ago. You could be just driving around the area and look over at the traffic signal, and there's Carter in his car. You work the area.
I do. I do work the area. I grew up in the area.
Well, let's tell people, Carter, as far as the market perspective right now, how things are going in the area that we're talking about, City Center, Memorial. How are things there?
When Courtney spoke a few minutes ago, I think she put it very, very well, and that our market is a little tougher in some areas, but in different areas, it's really, really moving. So with that, we've been very fortunate this year. We've been selling a lot of bigger homes and more expensive homes, and I've been surprised at how quickly they have moved.
And let's put a number to that, if you would, so people can reference that when we say more expensive.
Over 300. Over $3 million.
So that's expensive.
Yeah, and I had one that I thought would take quite some time, and it was 5.5, and it sold within a couple of months. I think that when the seller finally got to the right price, it sold, and then another one at $4 million, again priced right. It was a stunning home. A number of people wanted it. I don't know that the market overall. Those were both in Memorial Villages. I don't know overall because there is a good bit of inventory in that price range, so it is tougher. I just happen to be fortunate on those. Where I've seen a little bit of a tough spot is basically between $1 million and $2 million. And now that's in my area, not necessarily in all areas, but basically in the Memorial area, I've got a number of homes in that price range that are there's a lot of competition. And so it seems to be a little bit tougher.
And as a reference point, and I'm very familiar with the Autumn Oaks area, right. And that area, and for people that are listening that don't know, we're talking about Beltway 8, south of I-10, right across from, say, the city center, Town and Country area. And homes there, I would think as I drive through there to get to the office, where are they priced at? The 800s?
Well, new
Or-
construction is $2 million in there, or just under, and then south of Memorial, maybe north of Memorial, in that area, you'll probably see newer construction, $1.5 million to $2 million. South of Memorial, it's going to be north, probably closer to $2 million. Then an older home, depending on how much it's updated, you'll probably see somewhere from 600 to $1 million-ish.
That was going to be my question. Taking the price point of a 600-700, what can you really get any more there? And it sounds like for the 600, that's a home that might be in the right location, but it needs work. Am I right there?
Primarily, that's lot value. That's
Wow.
lot value over there now.
Think about
We
how
just
those homes
sold one.
appreciate it.
And I might add, we just sold one around the corner from your old home.
On Lasso Lane, by
On
the way, for
Lasso
those
Lane, that's
listening.
right.
I love that
And-
old home, too.
And it was on St. Mary's, and it's coming to Stewart Title, I might add, or it's already there. And it was $900, and it was a remodel, and it sold in a week. So it was a stunning house, and that one sold in a week. Not all of them are selling that quickly.
Well, this makes me think of changing gears from thinking as a seller, because it sounds like if you're a seller in that general area, it's a pretty good thing for you. But how do you prepare? Let's say the buyer that says, Carter, I guess I got to pull more money out. I have $1.5 million, and I want to be in that area of the city center, town, and country. What kind of things how do you prepare the buyer, and then what are the things that they could find?
I think that anywhere, you've got to see what they want. Some people have fear. Of course, that whole area near the bayou was affected greatly.
Mm-hmm.
Some people won't touch a flooded home, and some people have no problem with it because they don't think it'll ever happen to the magnitude that it happened with Harvey. So I think that's one thing. And then you've just got to prepare them or ask them what their needs and wants are, and kind of go from there. And I think that's with anything. In my area, primarily, is basically all the Memorial area, everything around there, but also I do quite a bit in the villages, and I think it's the same thing.
But it also sounds like the thing that takes place is timing, because especially if you have someone from another part of the country, the timing can be very important. So obviously, hey, if you see something you like, you better pull the trigger, right?
You got to jump on it, absolutely.
And now's probably a good time to buy.
Now, Bill,
I love that
every
part.
day's a good day to buy.
That's what I was hoping you were going to say, because there's no doubt about it. When it's time to buy, it's just time to buy, do it, and there you go, and you're ready for action, right?
Absolutely.
Give us an idea. Here we are, the summer. It's hot, in the middle of summer. It's exciting. How do you see things unwind? I mean, we're just speculating here, but how do you think things are going to unwind as we follow suit here, September, October, and finish out the year?
I think, when I look back and listening to Ted Jones and what he forecasted for this year, and then thinking what would happen in 2018, I don't think it's been quite as active as maybe we thought it was going to be. It's not a bad market at all, but I thought we'd probably see more. It's still been good. I want to just say that. Maybe not as good as we thought it might be. As we go into the end of the year, our market, fortunately, being in Houston, we're not a snow market. We're not a cold weather market, so we don't shut down. That's a great
Like a
thing.
golf course, right?
That's right. We don't. It is great being in Houston because we get to sell year round. It's we do slow down toward the end of the year more so than we do in the spring and the summer, and that's our strong season. I think this year will continue to be good. I think there are for buyers, I think there's some deals out there. I think there's opportunities. And for sellers, I think there are still a lot of buyers out there looking for good product. I think the big thing is pricing your home right.
That's really important all the time, right?
Absolutely.
You got to price that home properly. That's why you need a real estate professional like you.
Amen.
No doubt about it. And let's tell people all the things you could be doing, Carter. How is it real estate was the profession that you...
Well, very similar to Courtney. My mother was a broker.
and that's going to be a new song. My mother was a broker. I'm going to write it. I'll work on it. Go ahead.
I'll write it with you.
Okay.
My mother was a broker, and she worked in the Memorial area for years. My father was an attorney, and he did some real estate work and some other work. And my first career was in the oil and gas business. When the oil and gas business went south in the late 80s, early 90s, I was a young guy looking for something to do that wasn't in the oil and gas business. And they suggested I look at it, and I struggled with it a little bit because I had seen how hard my mother worked. And, it's a great, great business. It's very rewarding. And one of the best parts about it is buying real estate. I love buying real estate. I love helping people buy real estate, but I like buying real estate.
You're where you need to be. And like you started out, you're a part of the community in doing so with real estate. Another question comes to mind quickly, and that is, let's say, regardless of the price of the home, out of 10 transactions that you've done recently, how many are cash and how many are using financing?
Very interesting. I would say probably recently half of the transactions have been cash.
That was going to be my guess.
Yeah, and that's higher than usual. I don't know
Fascinating.
what others might say about that, but that has been higher than usual.
And Carter, with the last 30 seconds or so, what else would you like people to know?
Give me a call.
It's time to buy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's time to buy.
And how can they reach you, Carter?
My phone number is 713-826-4884. My email is Carter at the initial J, carterbreed.com.
J. Carter Breed, 713-826-4884. Thank you, Carter, for being on the show. And we're going to take a short break and come right back with so much more.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Namping. And now we get to talk with Paul McHugh, McHugh Homes. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, let's tell people, McHugh Homes, let's tell them first about your company.
We're a small boutique builder, generally custom, all in town. Usually we've been tailoring to single family just because the townhome market's been, I would say, volatile over the last few years. So usually 700 to about 2 million is generally the markets that we build in.
And give people an idea where they can find these homes geographically, where they're at.
It depends on the market. I think the market takes me where it's selling. So currently right now, Spring Branch is doing very well, and Memorial, that seems to be the best. I would like to go back to Westview. Just the lot values have really increased, and it's hard. Because if you're paying over for land, you can't make it up.
And when I'm thinking about, you mentioned Spring Branch, I'm thinking about a lot of older homes that it's time to put something else in its place, right? And that's what you're all about.
That's all about.
So it's got to be exciting. Give us an idea of some of the distinctions of your homes. There's a lot of builders out there, but some of the distinctions and things you think about and provide for buyers.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we try to do differently is because we're small and we keep our everything tight. We try to make over improvements that other builders probably won't do. For example, let's say a neighborhood that we're building right now, 2 homes or 3 homes in, everyone's doing a single family, a single door, 8 foot, and we do double doors, iron, and no one's doing that. Now, of course, that's only going to last so long because once you do it, the other builders follow suit. So you can break those distinctions just through those super custom. I've done like doggy, like we're in the island, I'll put little doggy water bowls hidden underneath the thing.
Dude, I want to buy a home already now.
So I do little secret stuff to make people.
That is a great, well, we have to be, I don't care if we're selling, if we're building, whatever we're doing, creativity becomes such an important part of what we do every day.
Yeah, I think where the market's changed dramatically for Houston, it's that we've become where the expectation, I always tell people that all the shows on TV have destroyed real estate. Because now everybody's a genius in building and real estate. Everyone's a remodeler. So you have to sort of step up what you can. You can't just build the same home. People know too much about granite and tile and flooring that if you just came in like you used to maybe 10 years ago, you'd probably get eaten alive.
Thus, what's available now for people are some really great products out there, some great things, some great homes.
Right.
Well, give us an idea as far as the trends. I guess there's two things that come into mind. There's trends that people are looking for as a result of all the media and all the things that they see, but also that there's trends that you bring forth, as you mentioned, some of these features that you have. How do you stay on top of it and determine if it's a trend or not, or an idea that you're going to incorporate in your home?
It's hard. I really fought the gold coming back heavily. I've been in real estate for about 18 years, and I was there in the early 2000s when everyone did their brass everywhere, and I was really fighting everyone saying that was coming back. But it's come back, and I've done it. And I think you just have to watch to see.
And you're speaking of gold fixtures,
gold
and faucets
fixtures,
and
gold
things.
lights, but a little bit. We're not doing the dragon golds that we used to see with the faucets and all that stuff, but slight soft elements of that. There's always an argument every year. I think they predict the end of gray on the walls, but I don't see the end.
The gray seems to be sticking around for a while.
I think it's sticking around. I see the killing of stainless steel still here. You see the end of predictions, but I think sometimes, especially if you're building a spec, you try to create neutral, but then maybe it's a one or two aspect. Maybe a pop-up powder bath that looks really good. Maybe, certain rooms that are pop-off. I think if you do everything pops off, then nothing pops off. So you gotta create your little standouts when you're building.
And what about the outside of the home? Are there features that are part of it? I mean, people look at all areas, but certainly there's I don't know if it's a trend, but people just like to be outside sometimes and in their yard. And what are the outside elements that
Yeah, I mean, patios
have
have probably gotten significantly bigger. I mean, beforehand, maybe you're doing 150 square feet, maybe 2. I mean, now I'm doing anything from 5 to 1,000 square feet of outdoor space. Exterior-wise, I don't know. It depends on the house, but I think Mediterranean has sort of slipped a lot. I think transitional is super popular right now, which in my mind, everyone has a different definition, but my mind's going to be that mix in between a traditional and some slight modern edges, but not full modern. And you do that mixture, it seems very popular.
What about flooring?
White oak is what everybody...
People like that.
Yeah, you want the option to be able, and I think you got to do, especially depending on the market you're at and where you're building, especially in the upper end, which everyone here today is talking about, mainly that group, you got to do tar and screed in town. There's definitely no engineered wood. You got to do real wood, white oak, 5-inch, probably minimal, up to 7-8 inch. That's probably where you got to be, because I think, like other people were talking today, the buyers know so much more. I mean, they do. They walk in, they already know what kind of flooring they want. They already know what kind of appliances they want.
And even when we think about price ranges of $700,000, $2 million, $1 million, all that, sometimes when people come from other parts of the country, that's not a lot of money to them. So they must get really excited. Do you see that?
You think so, but I had a client who came down from New York, and she undercut me $200,000 on a house. And I was like, you just came from New York. This is a 4,300 square foot home. And like, seriously, $200,000 off list? So she didn't get the house.
There you go. Somebody else, I'm sure somebody else
It was
did.
actually, I got lucky. That offer turned into multiple different offers. And then,
Well, just the idea of the things that we work for. We certainly work for satisfaction. We work for dollars to put bread on our table. And we love what we do every day, those that are fortunate enough to have that scenario. But as a builder, and multiple offers for a realtor is one thing. That's very exciting, and for the seller. But as a builder, in a way, I'm trying to put myself in your picture. And if I built that home, that's almost like my child in a way.
It is.
Right? And if you have several people that say, I want it, and then you're, oh, no, I want it, that's got to be a tremendous compensation for you, just that feeling.
It's a balance, because if you take it so satisfying when people insult your house, then you can be super sensitive. So I try not to. I always think about.
Well, you're an artist.
I build this to sell. I actually I've designed every house I built. So I don't try to take it personal. Every house is different. Everyone wants a different reason. So I've had people walk in and saying, that can't be the final fan. I'm like, if you buy the home, it's not. You can get whatever fan you want. So I try not to take it personal, but yes, it's always satisfying when someone truly appreciates your house and loves it.
That's exactly right, because there are both sides. We have to take the good with the bad.
Right,
we love it when people praise it. It's like the someone in the theater. They get the reviews. People are, oh, that was just incredible, or they're saying, why didn't they do it like this?
Exactly.
It's fascinating. So as we think of again, the year is winding. We're halfway through it. How are you seeing the year play out in the building world?
I would say land deals are getting crazy. I've lost 3 in a row. It's just it's usually the part of the market. What happens is builders start seeing things are going well. We are 1 year behind. I can already predict you what's going to happen for me personally in 2019. I have about 2-3 months left before anything will happen in 2019. I'm already going to be on 2020. So you have to think that ahead. And so therefore, builders start fighting for land. Land costs are going up. And this, I think, sometimes, if you're a small builder where every home counts, this is where it becomes a problem because some people get emotional, overbid, prices go up, and there you go from there. And then you compete against a lot of the production builders who've come in the market. Castle Rock has blown through Memorial, especially around City Center. I mean, they are buying. They have at least 5-6 properties over there. Dave Weekley's always been a strong presence. Partners Building, it's just they're heavy, and they weren't in the market 10 years ago.
So land is not going down in value.
No.
That's for sure. So that keeps everybody on their toes, and that just makes you think, hey, if you find something, if you're ready to plan, build, whatever it is, you better think about the timing of that. And of all the things you could be doing, Paul, how is it that you got into the building aspect of the real estate profession?
I sort of fell into it. I've been in real estate for, like I said, 18 years. I worked for KB Home, Newmark, and Perry, but I was always on the business side. Through some downturns, some lovely downturns of 04, 06, and blah, blah, blah. And I left industry for a couple years and worked for a different financial instrument company. And then, but I loved home building, went back. My wife's like, why don't you become a builder? Told her I'm not a builder. And here I am 7 years later, I'm a builder.
You're an artist, no doubt about it. Paul, let's tell people how they can reach out to you and see these homes on your website.
Yeah, you can go to McHughHomes.com. It's MCHUGH homes.com. Or you can reach me at 713-319-7164. As my wife likes to say, I work too much and answer too many calls.
Indeed, 713-319-7164, McHughHomes.com. Thank you, Paul, for being on the show.
Appreciate
Don't work
it.
so hard.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And we're with Michelle Steffen with Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Hello, Michelle.
Hey, Bill. How's it going?
It's going great. When we think about insurance, there are so many insurance companies. I mean, competition is out there for all of us in any walk of life. But when we think about insurance, home, auto, all those insurance needs that people have, what are some of the distinctions when people work with Stewart Insurance and Risk Management?
That's a great question. You know, there's so many positive things that a customer can experience working with us. First of all of our insurance agents are licensed. You know, they go through extensive training to obtain that license. But that's just the beginning. Once they get licensed, then they go through a comprehensive training program that we've developed meant to help them communicate with a customer about the things that are important. So we've talked at length before about how complex insurance can be, and our goal is ultimately to simplify it, put it into terms that everybody can understand, and then help people to be confident in the decisions that they make about their coverage. So we've remodeled the status quo for our own people, and we train them, we encourage them, we encourage growth and professionalism, and our goal is that every time they communicate with our team, regardless of who it is, from the top to the bottom, that they get that same feel. We want them to feel like they hugged us through the phone. And I mean that with all my heart.
In fact, the people with your company and people that are on your team, it's almost like they're interpreters. They're interpreting the language of insurance to those that need it and helping them find the right blend of insurance for them.
Absolutely. And Bill, I have immense respect for those people who have written and underwritten policy forms, but it is absolutely legalese. It is written by attorneys, and it's often very complex. So we simplify that. We make it easy to understand, and we constantly empower our customers as they come to us. We want them to know first of all, what we can be for them as advocates through the process of purchasing insurance, and then also at claim time. And we empower them to make those decisions through education. It's important that every moment we have with a customer, that they're taking from us value, not just in the policy that they have, but the relationship and the experience.
Indeed, you are making the complex simple for the person that needs the insurance, and that's so important. In addition, you're also raising the customer experience as far as customer service goes, because one of the things that I love when you call Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, you could talk to someone with not a problem.
Absolutely. Again, we don't have the call prompts. When you call, you get somebody live on the phone, and you're going to have somebody that can help you through whatever it is that you're going through, whether it's a need for new insurance quotes or whether you're working on renewing your policies with us or just average policy changes when you buy a vehicle. You're going to work with somebody who cares about you, who's confident, and can help you to be confident as you go through that process. And I like to say this, and I say it confidently, that nobody else is out there doing what we do with our customers, and I'm proud of that. So we continue to build that environment, and customers are going to enjoy every experience they have with us.
Very nice. Making the complex simple. Michelle, let's tell them how they can reach out.
Sure. You can reach us at 866-845-4676. And again, that's 866-845-4676.
I'm going to call right now. Thanks, Michelle.
Please do. Thanks, Bill.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. As we wind up the show, more important information is right here. Christina Sacco was responsible for bringing several of our guests here today. Christina has something she wants us to know, something about Christmas in July.
Thanks, Bill. Stewart Title is hosting a Day of Giving Wednesday, July 25th, Christmas in July. So many charities during the summer season are forgotten, and we are hosting several charities around the Stewart offices. Fine Properties is benefiting the animal shelter, Harris County Animal Shelter. So, Paul, if you're in need of a new dog, please come adopt. $20. Cats, dogs are going to be available from 9 until 2. And then the Memorial Town and Country office is hosting the Salvation Army. We're collecting toys for children ages 7 to 12. We are also having the Harbor Lights Choir, and Santa Claus is making a special trip to Houston. So you do not want to miss these days of giving at the Stewart Title offices in your local area.
And what's your phone number, Christina?
713-325-1748. 713-325-1748.
Okay, very nice. And just remember, Christmas in July, it's July 25th, and you could reach out to Christina or just go to stewart.com and call Find Properties. And now she's back. Courtney Robertson. Courtney, welcome back to the show.
Welcome, welcome. I'm still here. So, yes. And one thing I would like to close with is that, try to get away from looking at price per square foot as the main barometer of what a house is worth. There are so many factors that go into it, and a lot of times, that doesn't include lot size. It doesn't include if there's garage. It could be a bad use of space that has a lot of square footage. And there's also so many things that are selling before they're hitting the market, so you also don't know what those sales are. So that's my word
People
of advice.
need to reach out to you. That's why, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
how can they do so?
Well, they can email me at Courtney@greenwoodking.com.
Very easy, Courtney@greenwoodking.com, or just go to the Greenwood King website. I bet they have a roster of all the great agents. There you are. Very nice. And now, and of course, you are a legend too. I know that. Speaking of legends, Jay Carter Breed is back. Jay, what's up?
Thank you, Bill. I guess I just wanted to say about our area, the Memorial Spring Branch area. I happen to be I was elected to the Board of Trustees for the Spring Branch Independent School District. Great school district. I like to tell people it is the closest. The reason I believe that we are such a popular area, we're such a highly desired area, is because of the schools. And it is because the Spring Branch Memorial area is the closest area to the Central Business District and to the Galleria area with great schools.
And Carter, how can people reach out to you once again?
Carter at the initial J, carterbreed.com. And my website is the initial J, carterbreed.com.
That's too easy. Thank you so much, Mr. Breed. And now, Paul McHugh, a final word from you, and tell people how they can reach you.
Yeah, I think the final thought I would think about would be is when building a home or buying a home or whatever, you think about the process. I have to preach to clients too much that, remember, it's your home, but it's always an investment. You're going to sell it. I hear people, I know you were mentioning that you like your master up. Generally,
I know
studies
that's
will tell
outside
you
of the
master
trends,
is
but-
down, and you will lose a lot of money if you don't. You got to have a fireplace. I get it's Houston. You'll never use it. Got to have a fireplace. You have to have a tub in your master. I know these things, people want to say it's custom, but it's still going to be a sellable item. So just keep that in mind. And you can reach me at 713-319-7164 or at McHughHomes.com.
McHughHomes.com. Thank you all for being on the show, and thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Don't forget, Christmas does come in July at Stewart Title. That's right. Stewart find properties at Post Oak in the center of the Houston universe, and at Memorial, July 25th. Reach out to Christina Sacco. That's right, Stewart.com. And thank you for listening. Don't be sad that the show's over at the time of broadcast, because it never really ends. You can always go to Stewart.com/Houston to hear each and every episode. That's Stewart.com/Houston. I'll say it one more time, Stewart.com/Houston, and I don't know why. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening, and thank you all. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.